So here we are again. I mean, you guys have seen the news Nevada put out. So a couple, again, low-level positive M3 metabolites for Jon Jones. Not going to affect the fight this Saturday. You know, as I was talking about it this morning, I've been on the phone with Andy Foster, State of California Executive Director, Bob Bennett, Executive Director, Jon's camp, his attorney, internally here with the UFC. And all of us are of the opinion, well, this is, you know, it's not great that every time Jon fights, an issue like this comes up. However, based on the amount of testing that he's had over this last 2 months, these recent low-level positives are the best evidence I think we've seen of what these experts are telling us, and that is no readministration of this substance and no performance-enhancing benefit. You know, we now have, I'm just looking at Nevada's release, you have, you know, 2 very low-level picogram positive, bookended by 2 negative tests within, you know, a week and a half. If there was readministration of this substance, you would clearly see the parent compound, you would see short and mid-term metabolites, which science has shown would be in existence for several weeks. So again, while unfortunate for Jon, I think that, you know, based on the level and amount of testing, it's the best evidence that I've seen. I was counting the entities that are testing Jon right now. I've never, in the history of my experience in anti-doping, 15, 16 years, seen as many entities testing one athlete. He's got State of California individually on their own who tested him at the California event. He's got VADA on behalf of California. He's got the Nevada Commission, which has done some tests on their own with an independent collector. He's got Nevada, who has done VADA testing, and then he's got USADA testing. So 5 different entities have tested him over the first 2 months of 2019. There's not been another athlete on the planet that's ever had that happen.
Jeff, to that point, why were only the NSAC tests the one that registered the positives? I mean, are these tests being applied or measured differently?
No, I mean, well, the reality is, while you have different entities doing the collecting, they're all going to the same laboratory, Smyrtle, Salt Lake City testing laboratory. They go to that laboratory with just a number, so there's nobody at the laboratory that knows that they're looking at Jon Jones's sample. So when you look at all those facts together and you know, kind of see the layout of these negative, positive, negative, again, it's really solid science evidence of what these experts have been saying all along.
And how about the dates, the 14th and 15th? As you said, bookended by clean tests. The theory, I guess, because we don't have exact science, is that the weight cut is what causes this pulsing. So why is it the 14th and 15th? What's the theory there as to why those show up and then afterwards it's not?
It's a good question. I just got off the phone with Jon's camp, and who told me that period of time was when he was peaking in his training. So, you know, typically a fighter getting ready for a fight will, you know, gradually increase that intensity, peak, and then maybe a couple weeks out, taper off so that they're, you know, fresh for the fight. And that was right in the heart of when Jon, what his camp has told me, was peaking in his training for this fight.
And just one last question for me, I guess this is also kind of theory, but how long do we expect to keep seeing these results? Because I think people are concerned. I mean, is this a year, 2 years, 5 years, his career? How long do we expect to keep seeing these?
That's the million-dollar question. I don't think science knows right now. But again, as I've stated publicly, Jon's not the only athlete that this is happening to. Not the only UFC athlete, and then certainly there's athletes that I've talked to, other sports entities, professional sports leagues, that have had it happen to them too. So it's becoming quite common, and I think it's just a circumstance that level, the sensitivity level of testing over the last couple of years has increased 10, I don't know, 100-fold. I mean, you're talking about, there's another professional sports league that detected a 1 picogram quantity of that M3 metabolite. So I think pretty soon, and I don't even know what the next lowest measurement level is, but I think pretty soon you're going to start seeing that when they can detect 1 picogram. Again, I've laid out the example, grain of salt cut 55 million times, one of those pieces is a picogram. When you can detect 1 piece out of 55 million, it's just an incredible sensitive level.